ahead and get started. I know more and more people are joining. It's 9:31. So first and foremost, good morning, everybody. Kind of good afternoon to any East Coasters. And really welcome to the first ever Thrive brunch in celebration of World Menopause Day. You know, I've personally never celebrated World Menopause Day, even though I work in menopause. And so it's really exciting to do this really with all of you for the first time. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jill Angelo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Gennev. And our mission is really to empower women to take control of their health. I'm going to pop a slide up while we go through this in terms of thinking about what we're celebrating today. The theme of this brunch is all about thrive and about women thriving. And so we've brought together a couple of incredible presenters and experts in women's health who are also thriving in their second half of life. And I'm excited for you to hear from them. And then we've also got a number of sponsors who help us thrive. Sometimes if we need a little bit of a boost, whether it's with our skin or with our body temperature or with just feeling great about ourselves or even sexual wellness. So first and foremost, I am going to start us all off with a little bit of a toast. So I hope you all have a beverage. We were all early on when we were on earlier kind of showing how we were double fisting things. I've got coffee and a mimosa, but I'm going to toast with my mimosa. So to begin with, let's go ahead and just toast women who thrive and to toast ourselves and celebrate. So here's to us and here's to thriving, whether it's the next week or in the next coming year. Here's to you. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Well, great. To kick things off right away, we're going to get this show going. First, I'm going to go ahead. Let's make sure I've got my screen shared here. Okay. Can you see? You can see a slide on my screen, can you? Everyone just give me a thumbs up. Great. Okay. So before we start off, I just want to thank all of our sponsors. We've got some incredible companies that are doing things to help women thrive through our second half of life. You're going to hear from the first two listed on this slide. Ember Labs, they make a temperature controlled wearable device. It's become incredibly popular with women suffering from hot flashes or even women who are cold. You're going to hear from Sam from Ember Labs, one of the co-founders of the company. You're also going to hear later in the show from Rochelle Weitzner of Poswell Aging. She's the founder and CEO. Incredible science-backed skincare. I'm a huge fan of what they do. I'm a user and a customer. So you're going to see both demos and hear from both of them throughout our program this morning. Our program is going to be in parts. We'll have our conversation interspersed with a couple of cool advertisements from both Ember and Pause. In addition, our sponsors include Omibod of Omibod Pleasure Products. You're going to get an up close and personal opportunity to understand a little bit more about Omibod in just a moment. Princess and the Bear Wines, they provided our mimosa recipe as well as a couple of other brunch recipes. They also will be part of the goodie bag. They're an incredible woman-owned French wine distributor, have incredible wines. I'm a member of their subscription, just a great organization. Carrie Gran Clean Skin Cosmetic Products is another organization that really just thinks about the environment and about essential oils and how that really boosts our skin. So you're going to get some cool gifts and offers from them in our goodie bag. Tomboy X is underwear for all. They've got a new leak-proof pair of underwear that has become incredibly popular with a lot of women. So check them out. You'll see them in the offer in the virtual goodie bag afterwards. Cerucel is a skincare company, and they really work on your skin from the inside out. We're thrilled to have them as part of the goodie bag offer in addition as well. Better Not Younger is hair care for women as we go through perimenopause and postmenopause. They really focus on the hormonal changes that are happening in the body and how they design their hair care. And then, of course, Gennev will be part of the goodie bag, and so you'll see our offers there included. Post-show, you will receive an email that has all of your offers from all of these sponsors. Again, we're super thrilled that they joined us, and are excited to have Ember Labs and Poswell Aging share a little bit more with you throughout the show. From here, let's go ahead and I'm going to stop share for a second because we're going to pause, and we're going to literally get the show buzzing with our first giveaway. Okay, we've got 3 great giveaways from Omibod, and these are pleasure products. And how we're going to decide, and let me just kind of first of all give you the synopsis of the 3 products that are going to be provided as part of the gift. The first one is it's called Love Life Cuddle, and it's award-winning G-spot centric designed product. It was coined the Swiss Army knife of sex toys by Cosmopolitan magazine. It's a $69 value. The second prize is a Love Life Rev. It was designed with accessibility in mind, and it doesn't require anyone to grip anything. So if you've got kind of joints or soreness in your arms or hands or wrists or anything, it was touted as the most innovative sex toy of the decade by Refinery 29. And the third product is the Love Life Crush. It won the Best of CES award. CES is a big tech show if you've never heard of them, but it's a smart Kegel exerciser. So we're excited to give these three particular products away to a lucky winner. And so what I'm going to ask, if you all know where the chat window is on your screen, if you look on the lower menu, chat is one of the options. And what I'm going to ask is the first 3 people to respond to this question will be the 3 winners of these 3 products, okay? So this question is, what is your daily mantra that keeps you going? What is your daily mantra that keeps you going? Oh, I love it. I'm good enough. Don't postpone joy. Begin again. I am brave and strong. Don't kill my husband. I love that one. You are loved. I love myself. I believe in myself. Fake it till you make it. I can make a good choice now. Do it now. They're coming in. Never give up. There is tomorrow. Be badass. I love it. Thank you. All right. So Tara, Rebecca, and Gail. Woo! Those 3 are our first 3 winners. We will make sure to follow up with you afterwards to get your contact information and get the products to you. But again, Omibod, thank you very much for sharing your awesome products with us and with all the women joining today. We're really excited about it. Okay. Well then, let's, now that we've got the show buzzing, let's go ahead and introduce our speakers. They're really the highlight of the day. And when we thought about who can we have a conversation with around how to thrive in life and who is thriving, and also who's kind of like just got great energy for, you know, a brunch on a Sunday morning for World Menopause Day. Dr. Pamela Peek and Amanda Thieve are the 2 women that came to mind right away, and we're so excited to have them. So Pamela and Amanda, I'm gonna go ahead and just read a little bit of an intro on each of them, and then we'll open it up for the first discussion. So first of all, Dr. Pamela Peek, she likes to go by Pam because Pamela is like Pamela. You know, it's like more, yeah, it goes by Pam. She's also the Chief Medical Officer at Ember Labs, but she is a nationally renowned physician, scientist, expert, and thought leader in the fields of integrative and lifestyle medicine. Dr. Peek is a Pew Foundation Scholar in Nutrition and Metabolism. She's the Assistant Professor of Medicine at the University of Maryland. She holds dual master's degrees in public health and policy and is a fellow of both the American College of Physicians and the American College of Sports Medicine. So welcome, Pam. We're excited to have you. If you haven't watched her TED Talk, she's got several presentations online, but if you search her up, search for her, she's just got some incredible TED Talk episodes to watch, and she's hilarious. Amanda Thieve is a force of nature for women who are experiencing menopause hell and want to start feeling healthy and fit in their 40s and beyond. I follow Amanda on Instagram, and she's a riot. With over 20 years of experience in the fitness industry, Amanda is a highly regarded expert on women's fitness and health. A popular guest on podcasts and online summits, she brings a refreshing humor and no-nonsense approach to subjects usually shrouded in shame. Through her frank articles, hilarious social media posts, and inspirational and entertaining talks, Amanda continually inspires the loyal readers of her website at fitandchips.com. She's also the author of Menopause, and yes, the book's just coming out. You're seeing a copy of it there in her image. So you're going to hear from both of these women. They're both published authors and just have a lot to say. So welcome, Pam. Welcome, Amanda.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness gracious. Are we ready for this?
We're ready. We're ready.
I
have to follow her. Like I read, oh my God, I feel so inadequate now. But
okay. Oh no. That's a woman thing.
I know. I was going to say, that's so woman. That's so woman.
I did not say that. You didn't hear me say that.
All right. Well, to get us going, the first kind of section of our conversation is, really inspiring or thinking about our one-liners for thriving. And, in the chat, we started our first competition off with, what's your mantra, your daily mantra to thrive? And so I want to start out our first question with Pam. What's your mantra for thriving? How do you think about it?
You know what I say to myself? Blow by, survive. All the way to thrive. And that means joining your estrogen tribe by, practicing radical resilience, starting by ditching the fear to change.
That's deep.
Okay, well, I'll take about 5 minutes and just sort of absorb what I just said.
Right. When you say resisting the desire to change, talk about that.
Women have the P factor, perfectionism. You know what I'm talking about. If you've ever owned ovaries, then you know what I'm talking about. If you can't do it perfectly, then you don't do it at all. So perfectionism equals paralysis. What I'm asking you to do is ditch that attitude and just put it out there and be strategic. Think about it, prepare, organize, and then rock and roll. Just rock it. Rock your resilience. And it's almost like I'm giving you permission to just go out there and just be what you truly are. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I think sometimes realizing who we truly are is the hard part, getting there, understanding that.
Well, that's radical acceptance.
Yeah.
I am who I am. Stop the woulda, coulda, shoulda, the slapping yourself around. Yeah, what? You don't need it.
Yeah. Amanda, I read your motto is don't let the old lady in. Tell us more about that.
So my background is a little bit different to Pam's, as I come from the fitness side of it, the fitness and nutrition world. And I go to a gym regularly pre-pandemic. And there was an old guy in the gym once, and he was 78-year-old. And he came up to me and said, I love watching you work out. You really inspire me. You show the women, that you can and you should look after and care for your health. And I went, dude, you're 78 years old. You're my inspiration. And he went, I don't let the old man in. And I just thought, that's exactly what we need to believe. Society has led women in menopause and midlife to feel inadequate or invisible. It's just like this narrative that hangs over us, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And one of the mantras that I took on was, let's not let the old lady in. I'm going to show the world that this is what 50 looks like. This is what 60 looks like. We do not have to live by society's limitations. And in fact, I'm tired of women being placed in this shroud of limitations, and I encourage them to step outside of that and actually take control of the things that they can control. Because this is a time of life when it feels like the world's gone crazy and we literally don't have a handle on anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is a time where we really don't have control of so many things. And yes. I think that's where a lot of the discomfort and even the anxiety of what we're going through in 2020 is all about.
Yeah. So, you've got the wrecking ball menopause symptoms hitting you slap in the face. So you're just like, wake up every morning going, oh my God, am I going to have another day of all of this crap? And then in addition to that, we've got life stresses, including a pandemic right now. And it literally feels like we don't have a handle on anything, you know, and then turn into the mix all of the midlife situational things that are happening, you know, children leaving home, squeeze generation, you know, it just sometimes feels like it's just too much. And so, you know, there are certain things we can do from a medical perspective to help ourselves during this time, but there are also lifestyle and emotional and physical things that we can take a handle of that will help us thrive. And so my view on this is that even when it feels like you're at rock bottom, there is always something you can do to like hang on to the cliff, you know, like you can always keep striving for better.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, on that note, I know you guys have we've just begun, but we're going to take an ad break real quick and come back because we have more to dive into each of those points that you brought on, because I want to hear a lot more about that finding resilience and pushing through the tough times. So I'm going to bring forth Sam Shames. I'm so sorry. Did I just totally mess up
Shames,
the last name?
nailed it the first time.
Okay, Shames. So Sam is the co-founder and chief operating officer of Ember Labs, the first thermal wellness company and maker of the Wave bracelet. He's going to demo this for us. His work at Ember, he's been recognized in the Forbes top 30 under 30. He comes to us from MIT. He developed this device there. So Sam, take it away. And again, you know, cheers to you for being like the only guy, I think, on the event today.
You're
We're
rocking
so
it.
happy to have you.
Totally rocking it.
Thank you for having me. And I don't know if you remember this, Jill, but we first met at the North American Menopause Society annual meeting in 2017, where I believe I was once again the youngest and probably only non-physician male member there. So I'm used to it. And as you'll hear, my co-founders and I and our company has become really passionate about trying to help people experiencing the menopausal symptom cluster. So I'll just tell you a little bit about our story. My co-founders and I, we started working together at MIT in the summer of 2013. We actually came up with our idea for being too cold in an over air conditioned lab space and being tired of putting on sweatshirts to stay comfortable. So we said, there's got to be a better way. You know, why can't we make a bracelet that could heat and cool? And what happened to us that summer was, you know, we built our first prototypes. We thought it felt good, but it was never going to be a company until people started telling us, you know, temperature is the biggest problem in my life. And the group we consistently heard the most from were, we call them primetime women 45 to 65, experiencing hot flashes, experiencing other symptoms of menopause. And, you know, they were just coming up to us saying, like, does this product work? And we said, you know, we don't know, but we're scientists, so we'll try to find out. So we recruited some beta testers, which, as it happened to be, were my mom and her friends. They very generously tried out our early prototypes. They gave us feedback and they said, you know, you really have something here. And that really inspired us to commercialize the technology. And here we are 7 years later. We have our product, Ember Wave, on the market. We've been really fortunate to see a lot of success. We've sold tens of thousands of units. We've helped people all over the country and all over the world with symptoms of menopause. We've brought on amazing people to our team, like Pam as our chief medical officer. And, you know, we've become really passionate about trying to help people harness the therapeutic power of temperature. You know, it's for comfort, it's for hot flashes, it's for sleep. We even have people with medical conditions like Raynaud's and multiple sclerosis using the product. And, you know, for us, we wake up every morning excited to continue to develop new ways to let people harness temperature. And I think what we've also really seen is that, you know, our product is a helpful solution, but temperature is something we can all use. So whether you're interested in becoming our customer or not, I would like to leave you guys with a takeaway of just being a little more mindful about how you can use temperature to feel better. Whether that's really savoring the warm shower you take in the morning, or, you know, using a couple of ice cubes to make your cup of coffee the exact right temperature. You know, we're obviously excited to talk about Ember Wave, and we do have a giveaway, which I'll announce now. But, you know, I think above all, we've just become really excited about temperature. So my giveaway is in honor of all of the male investors who, when we pitched early on, said, you know, is menopause really a problem? And the question is, in the hour that this brunch is going on, approximately how many women in the US will experience a hot flash? So throw your answer into chat, and the person who comes the closest will win a free Ember Wave. This is open to US residents only. So again, the question is approximately how many women are going to be having a hot flash in the 1 hour? Lori, great guess. We'll give it another full minute or so if anyone wants to really go deep and do some math. And again, this was for all the investors who said, oh, okay, this is cool, but is menopause really a problem? We like to joke on our team that if men had hot flashes, and of course some do for prostate cancer, it would have been a national emergency 3 decades ago. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of good answers.
Sam, they're all in the millions. This is bad.
This is great. This group knows what's up. So according to our estimate, the number of hot flashes in the US that are going to occur during this hour is 3.7 million. So we saw a couple 3 millions. I think those people would have to get it. We have Sheila, we have Cindy, and we are, because there were 2 people, we're happy to double down and do 2 prizes. So Sheila and Cindy, congratulations.
Woo-hoo!
And for all of you guys, encouraged to check out our website to learn more. And thank you, Jill, for having me.
For sure. And Sam, do you want to just flash the device up
oh, yeah,
in front of your camera so everyone can see it?
This is Ember Wave. It also comes in rose gold, which Pam is wearing. The other thing I'll mention, we have a pretty cool feature we just released called Embrace. And Embrace actually lets you use Ember Wave to send warmth along with a personal message to another person. So I actually sent Pam an Embrace this morning. So if you have a loved one who maybe you haven't been able to see as much as you'd like, this is a really nice way to not just send them a text, but literally send them warmth to know that you're thinking about them. And I will put the website in now.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Sam. Just so you all know, there will be a discount for all of you who did not win the device. There will be a discount coming in your virtual goodie bag email after the event. So watch for that. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I know you've got a bolt at some point. So if we lose you, thank you again, and have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, Jill, and happy World Menopause Awareness Day. My family was very thrilled when I told them that I had to leave our family Sunday Zoom a little early to participate in this.
That's great. All right. One additional tip it's a housekeeping item. A lot of you, when you register, it puts a little name underneath your picture. If it says Jill Angelo, which I think the reg link kind of pulls you in naturally under my name because I set the meeting up, you can change your name. It just kind of helps as we go through more giveaways and you answer things in the chat. How you do that is on your picture. If you kind of move your cursor to the top right corner, there's 3 little dots. Click on that. There's an option for rename in that menu, and then you can just go ahead and name it to your name. All right. Okay, well, let's get back to the show for our second segment with Pam and Amanda. And I think we left off the last conversation around pushing through tough times. And, this notion around finding resilience through a year like we've been in, so that you do feel like you can thrive is something I want both of you to touch on. Let's start with Amanda. If a woman's you talked about the wrecking ball of menopause symptoms hitting up against COVID and just kids at home and just all the things that are changing right now. How do you encourage her, or what's your kind of advice to kind of really just push through those, through everything?
Yeah, so I think the first thing I would say to a woman that's experienced this feeling of being sort of overwhelmed and the ability to sort of like look past that, the inability to be able to look past that, is to honor your body where it is right now, because we're always trying to fix something that's broken. That's what the sort of message is, especially for menopausal women that we hear. And I want to sort of like pull that back and say to women that, one, you're not broken, and one that, your body is a lot smarter than you are, and you should try and respect what's happening. So instead of always like trying to fight what's happening, it's okay to pull back, and it's okay to stop, and it's okay to rest if that's what your body needs. Because what are we like as women? We're like juggle everything. We're literally juggling balls in the air all day long. We're like the modern age road runner. We never ever stop and take time for ourselves. And so one of the things I like to get women to do as a sense of encouragement is to start prioritizing themselves and to turn the conversation from we to me, right? So like get rid of everybody else in your life and just look at yourself right now and just say, what do I need right now in my life as an act of self-preservation? And I don't like using the term self-care because I think it's been woo-wooed too much in the hippie world. Sorry, any hippies out there. But I think like the idea of self-preservation and putting yourself first is massive, and not many women do that. And so by prioritizing you, then everybody else benefits as well, right? You know, so that's the first thing I would say to women. And that one of the ways to like harness that and to decide, you know, what's the most important thing for you is to live your life based on what your values are. And that's something that, and what your strengths are. How often do you know, Jill, that women celebrate their strengths?
Never. You know, I think even to think about what are my strengths and then to celebrate them on top of that, it feels selfish and probably self-aggrandizing.
So that's the message that we sort of like learn to live with, that put yourself first is a selfish act, and it's not. And I actually had a bit of an epiphany myself during this when I started to prioritize what I thought was important to myself. And I always had this nagging doubt in the back of my mind that my husband or my kids would judge me because I'd taken time out for myself, and they didn't even notice, they didn't even care. They, you know, nobody's watching what you're doing. It's okay to put yourself first. And I actually think it's essential. I think, and I think menopause actually gives you the gift of being able to do that.
How do you, Amanda, in your daily life, put yourself first? Like, what's the little thing you do that it's kind of you're giving yourself permission or taking time, or what do you do?
It's not little anymore. I'm like a big time hogger looking after myself. No, I'm just joking. So that I personally, as a fitness trainer, prioritize movement. I find that it helps me body, mind, and soul. And so if it's in one of those situations where I'm fatigued and nauseous and I don't have like the energy to do anything, I sometimes will just sit outside, but I take time for myself to look after my health. So whether that's through mindfulness, sat with a coffee outside, like just being in the moment, enjoying nature, going out for a walk, or hitting the gym and lifting my body weight in a deadlift. Any of those things to me are empowering and also just like fill me with like goodness, the goodness that we need.
Yeah. You know, I know, Pam, you're no stranger to fitness either. Like, you're an Ironman athlete, like super impressive. Yeah, okay, she's even like working out while she like preps and gets ready to speak. But
I want to do push-ups with Pam right now.
Okay, drop down and give me 50. Just kidding.
No.
You're like, just 50? Pam, you have talked about like having resilience as we enter this like 1000th month of COVID, you know, and talk a little bit about how you kind of coach women to find resilience. You're working with them every day. And what do you do personally?
So Amanda and I actually have a lot in common in many respects. I was just elected to the board of directors of the American College of Sports Medicine. And as well, I'm on the board of the Senior Olympics. Yeah, it's a thing. So you have to be 50 and over to be in the Senior Olympics. I hate that word senior thing in front of it, but you know, someone came up with this 39 years ago, whatever. And so what's really cool about this is that this has given me a real peer into the world of people who take care of themselves after the age of 50, especially the women who compete and back and forth, and their attitude, and they are seriously just laid back, kick back, and also kick ass. So it's a weird combination. It's like, I'm 50, get over it. You know, like, let's just get on with this. And if I don't do so well on the first track and field thing, you know, I got another 30 years, whatever, you know, we'll get to it. This is not a Michael Phelps thing. I'm a senior Olympic triathlete. And so what I get a chance to do is mess around in a lot of different sports. And in doing so, I'm not asking anyone by any means to have to compete or anything, unless you want to just mess around in your locale. For me, what it's done, as it's done all my life, is it's given me an outlet that is mind and body. And we talk a lot about bodies. Let's go to the science place on bodies for just a minute. All right, ladies, one moment you were in your 30s, 40s, and you look like an hourglass. And then suddenly you woke up one day and you look like a shot glass. And you're saying to yourself, what in the hell? You know, and you look at your belly and you're going through a shape shifting, and it's really weird. And nobody gave you that information. Nobody gave you a heads up that things were going to start getting a little funkadelic. And as a scientist and as a physician, I think that's nuts. And so I like to be able to message what's actually happening with your body on a science-based level so that you understand and you get, who wants to get the big surprise? So now what we understand is that, yeah, there are specific changes that are basically hormone related, and I'm not going to get into the weeds, but there they are. What can you do? Well, as Amanda and I are both telling you, that mentally and physically, you want to be able to establish a lot of strength and resilience. You got to adapt and adjust. And women are great at pivoting for everyone else except themselves. And so there you have it. So you have a lot of choices in life. As I dressed for this beautiful brunch, I said to myself, well, is it going to be my baby? Nah, screw that. I'm actually on a rebounder. Okay, so this is one of my secrets. I got a mini trampoline underneath my desk. It's the best thing ever. I'm barefoot, I'm wearing leggings, and it is awesome. So how do I survive? When I'm stuck on Google Meets and Zooms all day long and I'm working and back and forth, I'm stretching, I'm moving around. At the same time, it makes me feel good. And then I run outdoors at every single opportunity, because instead of wearing these, I'm wearing these. These are my babies. They even have yellow. They match. So, really, when you get down to it, it's all about doing what we're superb at for everyone else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If someone needs you, Jill, we've probably done this countless times, a zillion times. Someone needs you, you are all over it. But if suddenly it's all about you, then you have to say the 4-letter word, self. And then now it's not okay. And I'm, no. Just honor and respect yourself and feel blessed and grateful that you're as strong and as powerful as you truly are.
Is there something in you that triggers you to think self versus automatically putting the other person's needs first? Like, is there a trigger? Like, how do you get there?
What you do is you have to go back to, really, in many respects, that crazy little video we keep seeing on all the airplanes. Please, first put the oxygen on yourself before you take care of the 38 people you're flying with. So, it's about realizing that when you go out in life, that there are multiple battles, challenges, adversities. God knows this year, it's just every 5 minutes, right? But what you have to do is realize that to survive and thrive through all of this, that you need to be strong yourself. So I honor that. I say to be able to help everyone else to stand here today. I've already taken my walk with my canines. I've already done a little bit of my workout. I've meditated. I've reflected in my daily journal. I've done all kinds of things that will make me feel empowered to be able to help others, because that's what makes me feel great. So it's a win-win situation. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. What, I think Pam and Amanda, you both have incredible self-discipline. Like you've been on your walk, but I think your accomplishments are representative of your discipline. But what helps you daily really do the meditation, take the walk? My God, how many times in my life have I said, okay, I'm going to start meditation every day. I know I need to do it 10 minutes first thing in the morning. I know it's the right thing. And when I do start doing it, I feel better, but it just I can't stick with
I
it.
want to hear what Amanda's going to say, because I have an epic, failure story. So go for it, Amanda.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we do learn from our failures, right? So that's like an interesting point. Like for me, like, and also Pam, we've been doing this for decades, and that means something, right? So the fact that, this is an ingrained habit or behavior. So even in the times when I haven't been able to maintain my fitness or my health because of perimenopause or COVID or whatever, like it was probably easier for me than somebody who's never exercised to get back on the treadmill almost, because that habit was ingrained. And so for me, to me, the easiest way for somebody to actually do this is to start, but plan. You can't just expect to wing it, right? So if you know that you're going to want to start meditation, say that's the one thing that you want to start, well, that has to become a habit that you do. And it has to be something that you maintain, so it becomes a new behavior, so that it's automatic. It doesn't happen because you have to think about it. It happens because you are used to doing it, and it just has like you flush your teeth. That's a really bad example because I'm British and I have British teeth, so we don't floss. So like brushing your teeth. Okay, so I do that actually a couple of times a day. So for example, like if any of my clients want to, start meditation, I would say program it in, write it in your calendar, stick it in your Google Calendar, and make it a priority, like you do cooking the dinner, like you do cleaning the house, or like you do your calendar for work. Actually make it a priority. And when you start going back to the previous question, when you start prioritizing your health, amazing things happen. Like you said, once you meditate and you feel at one with yourself and have this calmness because your parasympathetic nervous system's taken over and you're no longer in fight or flight, that is a really good place to be. And you get addicted to that feeling, but you have to make it happen proactively, because and then curiosity comes into place, because then when that becomes an automatic thing, your mind goes, oh, well, if that feels good, I wonder what it would feel like if I actually went out for a walk 10 minutes every day, or if I picked up that weight in the gym, I wonder how that would feel. And so it's like a big snowball impact that can happen.
Yeah.
All right. So I was an epic failure. I'm a triple A, quadruple A personality, and is it done yet? And are we through yet? And I had to like slap myself around and try to rein myself in. And then I met one of my dearest friends, Dr. Herbert Benson, who's the founder of the Harvard Mind Body Institute. And he said, Pam, I wrote the relaxation response, which by the way is still in publication after 1 million years. And he did all this great research. He said, I'm going to teach you the relaxation response. Seriously? I lasted 30 seconds. And I said, are we done yet? And I, just no, it was not happening. And I'm going to tell you, the science of change shows that you try something 900 times and you just play around and you have little, kind of mini epic failures and back and forth. And then maybe something kind of sticks and then you kind of go with that. This is what I found. I challenge you, if you've ever, tried to do the meditation when you have that gerbil mind, when you have crazy monkey mind going on, that what you want to do is just challenge yourself seriously with just 60 seconds. Just 60 seconds is all I ask. And the weirdest thing happens. You say 60, oh, hell, I can do that. And then next thing you know, you kind of open your eyes and it's been 5 minutes. Stealth. Okay. It's a tricky little thing, but all of a sudden it just feels so good. Just allow any thought to float by, and don't be perfectionistic, and don't say, I have to do this exactly as, some app said, or, whatever. Oh, forget all that. How do you dress? You cobble it together. You make it work. And that's the same thing for something as important as meditation. And I'll bet Amanda agrees with me on this next point. If you think for 2 seconds that I ever got physically active, and I've been at this for 40 years, all right? So If you think I ever did this to say, oh my God, I got to get into a size X jeans or something, oh, forget about it. Are you kidding? With my level of training, the only reason why I kept this going all these years, was for my head, to keep myself sane, to be able to go out into nature, which is my go-to place for everything. And to be able to just be, just to be connected, just to be with all of this, to be able to allow myself. I did this all the way through my medical training, and it worked like a charm. And I said to myself, that's the real reason why I put it all together in a mind-body kind of packaging, because that's what it's good for.
That's,
Yes, I agree.
it's so true. Even if you go outside at the end of a day and stand, and breathe for 2 minutes before you go back in and go to bed, like it's just, it is that notion of nature is.
Well, Jill, the biggest joke right now, I don't know if tragic joke, is the safest place with COVID today is outdoors.
Yeah.
Just read all the science. I'm right here, right next to the NIH, where I've spent many years as a laboratory scientist. And the safest place for you to be, obviously, physical distancing, is outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so please get outdoors, walk, crawl, do anything, run up a tree, do something, just stay outside, because it's wonderful for your mind, body, and spirit.
Well, speaking of someone who I think got out of the city and went to nature, we're going to take another ad break, and I'm going to introduce Rochelle Weitzner, CEO and founder of Pause While Aging. And as we take this quick break, we're going to come back to Pam and Amanda for one final third set. So stay tuned, because the last section is about saying yes and how we can say yes and give ourselves that permission. But Rochelle, a little bit about Rochelle before she comes on the mic. She's a seasoned C-suite executive and beauty industry veteran. Rochelle's has really spent her entire career. She's a finance person in the beauty industry, and she cares about the numbers, and she had a hot flash. And she wondered, where are all the solutions for women having hot flashes? And it led her to create Pause While Aging. Prior to founding Pause, which you're going to hear a lot more about, and about their incredible skincare line, she was CEO of Erna Laszlo. And then prior to that, she was CFO at Laura Mercier Cosmetics. And she also held roles at Lead Finance, where she led financial strategy for several billion-dollar subsidiaries of the international paper company. So this woman knows beauty, she knows skin, she knows numbers. And so, and she's become a fast friend for me. So Rochelle, it's a pleasure to introduce you and take it away. And by the way, Rochelle's going to give away some Pause While Aging as well. So get ready for that.
Yes, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the world of beauty. And yes, it is possible to fuse menopause and beauty together, even though prior to my company, that had never been done before. So just a little bit about why did I create the company. As Jill mentioned, I used to be the CEO of Erna Laszlo, the 90-year-old skincare company, and prior to that, the CFO of Laura Mercier and Revive Skincare. And so I knew who we were speaking to as an industry in terms of the customer, and that customer was really the millennial customer. When I did experience my first hot flash, and I did what probably most people do, I panicked. And then my next thought was, oh crap, I think I'm about to go through a whole bunch of things, and I don't think I'm ready for these things that I'm about to go through. And one thing that I know for sure is that there are going to be some skin changes. And with menopause, we lose collagen, we lose elasticity, we become excessively dry, and we lose radiance. Well, I knew that if I wanted skincare to help me deal with these changes, I was going to have to create them myself. And so that's what I did. I joke and I say that Pause was created in a flash, a hot flash. It took 2 years from flash to launch, and probably a lifetime of experience in between there. But what was really important to me was to create this skincare line specifically for women like us who were experiencing the 3 stages of menopause and those physiological skin changes that come with it. And so Pause is formulated really for that loss of collagen, loss of elasticity, excessive dryness, loss of radiance. Many of you may find that you've had a regimen that you've been using, you know, for years and years and years, and it's been great for you, but literally you wake up one day and suddenly the products aren't working the way they used to. And the reason for this is because they weren't formulated for your life stage. They weren't formulated for those hormone fluctuations that you're currently experiencing. So we don't try to be skincare for everyone. I say that we pick up where the others leave off. And so, you know, we come to you as your hormones are fluctuating, and that's when you typically become a Pause customer. And so when we launched with our Hot Flash Cooling Mist. You can see this. So this is literally a spray. You shake it up, 2 sprays to the back of the neck. It will cool you down for an hour, 1 hour. You can spray it on the chest. You could spray it on pulse points, but it definitely gives you that instant cooling sensation. The other product that we launched with was our collagen boosting moisturizer. And I think this is actually one of the products that we will be giving away today. And so because the loss of collagen is something that we're so focused on, we knew that we wanted to come out with a collagen boosting moisturizer. This moisturizer is incredibly hydrating, but super lightweight. You'll feel it on throughout the day, but it won't feel heavy in any sort of way. And then the other product I really want to talk about is we created a tool. We are very much about skin health and wellness from the outside in with our topical products, but then also from the inside out. It's all about tissue health and wellness. And so I worked with a doctor of physical therapy, and we created this FDA registered class 1 medical device. This is called our fascia stimulating tool. And the whole idea here, and I'll get a drop science-y for a minute, is that our bodies produce collagen. And collagen is produced by cells called fibroblasts. Well, up until our 20s, our bodies are regularly producing collagen every day. That's why a 20-year-old skin looks so beautiful and taut and plump and supple and all those words that we can think of. Between age 20 to 40, collagen production starts to slow down. And by the time we reach our 40s, we're producing virtually no new collagen. However, those fibroblasts are still there. I say they're sleeping or they're dormant. We know through science that if we can create something called shear, and shear is when we move layers of fascia across each other, we can stimulate those fibroblasts, wake them up, and have them resume their production. So this tool, it's propelled by you, it's manual, there's no electricity to it, and we use it in an up and down manner across different regions of the face. The shape of it is based on contours of the face. We can get into the jawline here, and my favorite area to work on is the neck area to help tighten and tone this area so we can avoid that dreaded turkey neck. That's just an example of 3 of our products. You can find us on our website at pausewellaging.com, and I'll put that in the comment section. And we're also available on Amazon. And if you're outside of the US, we're available on Cult Beauty. Cult Beauty ships all over the world, so you can find us anywhere. So for our giveaway, let me ask a question, and for the first 3 people that respond, we'll be giving away a collagen boosting moisturizer. And this is unfortunately only open to people in the US because that's the only place that we can ship for this contest. But as I say, you can find our products on Cult Beauty as well. So what is the one thing that menopause has prompted you to do? As I said, for me, it prompted me to start a company, prompted me to start boxing. But what did it prompt you to do?
All right. Awesome. Okay. Exercise, start a podcast, workout, do yoga, workout, eat cleaner. These are great.
Amazing.
Looks like Erin and Colleen and Shannon. So we'll go ahead and grab, put the worldwide shipping, take time for myself. There's a point in here, when you put the information up on the chat, Rochelle, to put the
I
worldwide
will.
shipping out there, please, because we do have, that comes from Carol, of Princess and the Bear Wines, who's coming in from France. Again, the sponsor of our mimosa recipe and recipes. And but yeah, for sure, put the international shipping access.
Thank you.
Great. These are great. Well, thank you, Rochelle. Great. I love your products. I'm a fan. Love the work that you're doing. Again, check them out at Poswell Aging. And you'll find an offer as well for their products in the virtual goodie bag post-event. Okay, well, let's bring back Amanda and Pam for our final set as we bring it home. And you'll want to stay on, because at the end, we're going to give away a couple of more items from Carrie Grand Cosmetics. So stick around for the final thank you. But this final section is about saying yes. And, you know, we've talked about, like, how do you push through resilience? How do you, you know, just like try to make it into something that you'll do daily, etc. And my first question goes to Pam in this section. You know, for many of us, menopause or midlife, it feels like a time of giving up. Like I've got to sacrifice wine because it gives me hot flashes, or sugar, or my metabolism's changing, so I've gained weight. How can I manage it? Like, what do we get to say yes to versus like no, because we're trying to minimize all these other things.
All right. So clearly you can't say yes to everything. I mean, that's what I love to call a keen grasp of the obvious. So you want to be strategic, you know, just like we are for everybody except us. So, and I keep saying that because I'm doing the finger wag. So when I say yes, when someone says, can you go hiking up that mountain with me? And you say, oh, no. And in the back of your mind, I know what you're thinking. What will they all think? I'll look like an idiot. I don't know how to do that. I'm afraid of that. This kind of goes back to my initial point about resilience and not being fearful of change, things like this. And so when you sit down and you really ask yourself, do you really want to kind of do that? And the answer is, yeah, deep inside. And then it's followed by this huge but I'm afraid, but I'll look like an idiot. I'm too, and fill in the blank. I'm too fat. I'm too not smart. I'm too, you know, it just goes right down this list. It's like this weird thing, like a mental Cuisinart that somebody's hitting high, and then you're just going round and round and round. So the answer is, before you can really address the issue, you have to say to yourself, what's been holding me back all along? When someone says, don't do that. Women don't do that. You can't do that. I'm going to tell you a little piece of wisdom. That's their story about you, not your story about you. Be very clear about your own story, and then just get on out there and go ahead. Tap into that wonderful bravery that you've had all along for everybody else. You are courageous. Just go ahead and do it. And then ask yourself finally, what's the worst that could happen? You'll fall down. And your point is, you stand up, dust off your little female behind, and then just keep it rocking again. Go, well, that was a lesson. There's a pony in the midst of that pile of you know what. There's a little lesson in there. What is it? Find the lesson. It's the fear factor. You know, there's this foundation of fear. So say yes at least once a day. Say yes to something that has always kind of filled you with a little bit of fear, and experience what it's like. I'll put money on it that it's nowhere near as bad as you thought it was, because we have a really rotten habit of blowing everything up into something bigger than it is. Truly. I actually had a patient once who looked at me and said, I can't walk in my neighborhood. I said, excuse me? Just put your sneakers on, you know, and just go on out there. She goes, well, what if they all see me? Who's they? You know, people peering behind their drapes and staring at you. You know, who are these people? There's always this they thing. They'll see me. They'll say things. Ah, pitch it. Get on out there and just rock it. And just put it out there. You know, strategically, think about it, and then have some fun. Say yes.
Yeah. You know, my favorite part in all that, and I often do this in my head, is like, what's the worst that can happen? And when you parse things up, when you piece things apart, like it does make it more achievable, or it makes you realize how like of a big deal you're making it versus it really is.
Break it up into small steps.
Mm-hmm.
That's been my mantra all my life, in everything, personally, professionally, and otherwise. It's always small steps. They're chewable bites.
Yeah.
And so when you're thinking about, I was looking at the chat, people wanting to start, you know, pivot, start a new career. People want to start strength training. You always start with small steps. Build a strong foundation. Don't assume by any means that this is going to be some kind of linear thing. Everything will go swimmingly. I actually oftentimes use my rule of reverse expectations. Assume things are going to get pretty funky until proven otherwise. And then just basically move forward. And this way, it's just relaxed. By the way, The 4 Agreements is one of my most favorite books of all. And the third agreement is, please pitch the expectations. Instead, use the word hope. I hope everything goes well. I expect everything to go well. You know, and it softens it up and it makes it more welcome to be able to take that little step and say, yeah.
Yeah. You know, thinking about like baby steps, Amanda, you've had a tough year this year. Like you're a fitness, like you're healthy, and you had COVID-19, and I watched you come back, and it seemed, I was like, oh my gosh, it must be so frustrating for her because she's so healthy and she can't do the things she's used to doing. Talk a little bit about that journey and coming back and how you took baby steps.
Yeah, so it sucked. It was like literally awful. A little bit of background story, I got COVID probably moderately. I don't know how, because I'm a very good rule follower, but I got sick for about 3 weeks and then got better, but then struggled with long haul symptoms. And I know that we're talking about that in the news right now. And it took me 5.5 months to recover. So I had some type of post-viral syndrome that I was trying to deal with, I could struggle to breathe, to walk. It was pretty sucky, actually. And so I documented what was happening because I do like to keep things real. I do like to be really honest with people. But it was really frustrating for me that I went into like COVID, probably the fittest I'd been in ages, and I then couldn't walk up the stairs without having to lie flat on the floor, you know, and it would send me back to bed for days. It was very frustrating. So there were a few lessons that I learned, and in retrospect, I can go back to them and feel good about, you know, like how far I've come. And one of the things that I think helped me for my recovery was perimenopause, because I was lucky to get hit with that crap stick twice, you know, perimenopause, then COVID. So during my recovery, that was so difficult. I felt isolated. I felt frustrated. There was no information for me. So I just was sat there thinking, is this how I'm always going to be? Am I always going to feel this tired, this sick? How can I ever get better again? So then I sort of like wallowed in self-pity for a while. And then I decided to go exactly to the place that I mentioned earlier. I have to take control of the things that actually I can take control of. And those were, I took a handle on my nutrition. I stopped stuffing my face with cookies because I was feeling sorry for myself. I started really focusing on recovery. And that was, I moved when I could, and I rested as much as my body needed. And I actually pulled back on my exercise. I actually thought, if I can go for a 20-minute walk, I'm actually only going to go for a 15-minute walk and just do enough, but not too much. And so it was a lesson in patience. It was a lesson in trust that my body was going to do the right thing for me. You know, it was hard because I am the person that it has high expectations of myself. And similar to what Pam said, I then changed the conversation to, I hope next week I'll be able to go for a 20-minute walk and not a 10-minute walk. And it really helped me have a big shift in my mindset so that I wasn't so frustrated and let down. But one of the interesting things that happened is, as I started to get very slowly better, I decided I wanted to learn something new. I knew that I needed to have something that made me feel like I was getting a small win. And this is for like any woman in menopause. Like we struggle with our athletic ability and our belief in our athletic ability. There's something that stops us. It's the, I can't do this. And part of me was like, I want to feel proud of myself again. What can I do? And the only thing that was open to me was swimming. And Pam, you'll love this because we're going to do a triathlon together now. But one of the things is I've never been able to swim. Like, I've been athletic all my life and I've never been able to swim. I'm one of those people that flails up and down for one lap and then I'm just exhausted at the end. And my husband and my sister-in-law, his sister, are national level swimmers. They've tried to teach me for the 40 years, whatever, and I haven't been able to swim. So I was going swimming 3 times a week and doing a few like breaststroke. I was like the grandma in the pool and I was okay with that because that was where I was. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to learn to swim. I've decided I'm just going to learn. And because I found that the water and the regulated breathing was helping with my COVID symptoms, I actually do, I do credit learning to swim as part of my recovery. And I remember reading the Tim Ferriss book, 4 Hour Body, where he learned to swim. Similar situation. And so I did. And by, at the end of 5 weeks, I was doing 100 laps. I regularly go now and swim 3,000 meters. And I'm so proud of myself that I actually taught myself to swim. I know. And now I'm thinking, now it puts something in my mind that, well, if you can do that, what else can you do, right? And you need these small wins as a woman in midlife with everything that's hanging over us. We need these. We need to celebrate our victories. We need to grasp onto these small wins and use them to propel ourselves forward, because you literally can do anything. The only person that's stopping you is yourself.
Yeah. That is such an incredible story. I know I've never had COVID, but I am a terrible swimmer, I just think, and I've had to work really hard as well. And so I admire you, and you're really my inspiration, Amanda, for keeping at it. Because there is also something about once you start doing something, you get encouraged by the progress that you make, and then that propels you forward, right?
I'm like, maybe not everybody's the same as me, but I love data. I bet Pam's the same, and I love tracking everything. Like, I have a big journal that I write everything down. I have all of the apps, and every single thing I do, whether it's a walk or a run walk or a swim, I track it on my apps, because if there's ever a time that I'm feeling down on myself, that I think that I'm not making progress, I just have to look back and go, look where you've come from. And so I use that as data, not as judgment, because I really think that, if you can write down in your journal like how you felt that day, or what your small wins were, it really does show you the progress you can make. And so I'm all about celebrating, like I said, the small wins, because they can propel you forward, and it helps you to not stop if you see these small amounts of progress.
Amanda, if I could, you're so terribly inspiring, and you remind me of the countless times when I've said to myself, when I take on any kind of physical something, because it's really good for you, it's a metaphor for life. I've worked with breast cancer survivors for many, many years. And every time I have them go out in their recovery and begin to take a walk or do whatever, they say to themselves, and they say it out loud, if I can do this, I can get through this. I can do this in my life, per se. And that's one of the reasons why you and I, Amanda, are totally aligned on using nature, getting out, pushing your own envelope a little bit. And Jill, the same with you and your swimming and the rest of it, because come on, seriously, don't you say to yourself, well, I got through that. I can get through a whole lot in life because I'm proving something to myself. Doesn't that make sense, Jill?
Yeah, totally does. You know, that whole notion of adversity makes you stronger or makes you resilient. It's very true, but it's hard to see it when you're in it, for sure, until you come out the other side.
And the other book that I would highly recommend is was written by a millennial, and a male millennial, but he's smart. Okay, fine, whatever.
Well, we need them too. We need male millennials.
I know, whatever. So the name of it is, and it's brilliant. The Obstacle is the Way, and it's written by Ryan Ryan Holiday. And he's an impossibly smart kid, and it's a brilliant book. He combines history, metaphor, back and the easy read, short topic. I got it as an Audible, and I listened to it. You know, I've listened to it countless times. You know, while I walk my my German shepherds, and I'm telling you right now, the obstacle is the way.
I love that. I love that. Well, we are over time and there's never enough. I could stay on and listen to both of you for a lot longer. I think what's exciting is that you both, thank you very much, have offered discounts in our goodie bag for your books. They're both published authors. Seek out their resources. We also have some giveaways of your books, signed copies, and Pam, you're also offering up 3 free sessions for women. We will randomly, based on registrants, randomly select the winners of the books that are published under from Amanda, her latest coming out, Menopause.
Today, it comes out today. World Menopause
Yay!
Day.
Well,
Okay, Amanda, you got to be on my podcast.
Yes.
Okay, it's her podcast. So we're going to hook up.
Actually,
and
Pam,
we're going to promote the heck out of your
will
book.
you marry me, Pam? Are you?
Okay, I have to go now.
that's a first. That's a first Menopause Day, like marriage proposal.
No,
That's
joking.
that's
So
awesome.
It's just inspiring.
No, that's we will. So 3 lucky winners are going to receive their books as well as the 3 free coaching sessions from Pam. So thank you both so incredibly much for sharing just years of what you've learned with all of us. There's going to be more down the line and more for sure from these two amongst our Gennev community efforts that we do and the information that we bring to you. To close this off, I know today we didn't do a live Q&A. However, when you receive your goodie bag email later today, if you have questions or conversations or anything you'd want this conversation to continue on, or you want your questions addressed, just reply to that email. We're all on that. My team and I, we're on that. We will get it to Amanda or to Pam, or we'll address it in a follow-up. We do have a forum at gennev.com, and we'll probably push a lot of the conversation there. So we encourage you to keep the conversation going. So please reply to that email with questions or reach out to us at info@gennev.com, and we'll keep the conversation going. Before we close, we're going to give away 3 final products. And this is from Carrie Gran, Clean Beauty. These are essential oil and plant-based products that are just, they smell delicious, and it's a local company here out of Seattle, and we're really excited. Carrie Gran is giving away 3 of their mini kits, which is kind of their starter kit, to 3 lucky winners. And to decide who wins that, I've got one final question for you all to answer, so get your chat window ready to go. And the question is, this week, what are you going to say yes to? This week, what are you going to say yes to? Awesome. Meditation, running, travel. Yes, let's get back to travel for sure. Working out, going out.
Chocolate. There was chocolate in there. I swear I saw it.
Oh yeah, chocolate and wine. Yes. Yeah, utilize your Princess and the Bear wine offer for sure. Fun. I love that. Yes to fun. We often live a life of obligation. Going for a safe walk, Peloton for sure. Yeah, hikes with my dog in the woods. I love this. Great. All right. Well, we'll grab our first 3 respondents out of that queue. My team will grab that. So we'll follow up for information to get those Carrie Grand mini kits your way. They're really fantastic. And I guess to close, thanks everybody. We've got another World Menopause Awareness Day in the books. We celebrated it, I think, in fine style. And again, very big thanks to all of our sponsors, but a big thanks to Pam and to Amanda for sharing everything that you know and your just inspiration with all of us. So thank you.
Jill, can I say thank you, as well? Yeah, for doing
Yeah, thank you. I mean, come on, you're the fearless leader.
Yeah.
You brought us all together. Let's give her applause. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Woo!
I love what I do. So like, this is just getting to do my job, just the stuff I love. This is the fun work. Amanda, you were going to say something?
Thank you. I was actually just going to say thank you, Jill. So it's
Awesome.
You're awesome.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, let's all sign off. You can have your Sundays back. Go into the day thriving today, saying yes, and just feeling a little extra inspired. So take care. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.